to always start with iOS.
Yeah, good stuff. Hey, we're live, everybody, and we're talking with Ego and Glenn and Mark. Mark, good to see you. Why don't you come out here for a second? I want to see that tie and jacket.
Yeah, well, what you don't see is the bottom of the tie. This is my Las Vegas tie.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, showing the cards.
Is that your lucky tie?
Yeah, lucky. My lucky tie.
I haven't been lucky. I avoid Las Vegas. I can tell you, my one experience with gambling was actually in Atlantic City, having grown up in New Jersey. And so I thought, man, I'm going to go do this Atlantic City thing, right? And so I went. I walked up to the ATM. They got this wall of ATMs, right? And I put my card in. And I got the money out, and I lost the money in the slot machines, and I never went back. Yay! And you know what? I've talked to plenty of people that said, wow, what a great first and only experience, because had you won, different.
Yeah, I'm a break-even guy. So for all the years I've gone, I haven't lost my shirt yet. So, but I haven't.
Apparently not.
I haven't walked out there with a mint either. So I figure that I paid for my entertainment. I'll just call it that.
Yeah, well, I walked out with a mint. It was one of those complimentary mints you get when you leave the restaurant.
Nice.
Brian, looking sharp. What's this clean shaven look that you got?
Well, I thought I'd try something a little different. I actually have done a little bit of gambling. Atlantic City once or twice, Vegas a few times, and I don't generally play. I never play the slot machines. I have never played a slot machine because, as a matter of fact, I haven't been to a casino in quite a while. But when I do go, I always play poker, live poker. And there's a reason, there's a statistical reason, logical reason. Statistically, poker is the only game, live poker is the only game in the casino where the house cannot control the odds. I'm not playing in a live poker game, I'm not playing against the house. I'm pitting my skill against the skill of other players. And that, I can live with the results.
Fantastic. Well, there you go. And I've met a few professional poker players, which is not our topic for today. So again, welcome everyone to our Success Mastermind. Hey, it is Fun Friday. We got a special Fun Friday for everyone today as well. We've got Nicola Black is going to be coming out here and sharing with us a way to craft, let's say, an ideal affirmation or affirmations for our use throughout our daily life. Let's see who else we got here. Nicola looking sharp. Mandy always looking sharp, of course. Ego, did you have a dog or something in your midst that you wanted to show us? Do we have can we see that animal? Where's that animal? Let's get you unmuted here. I can't see you unless you make some noise.
There he is. That's Simba.
Oh, Simba. Simba.
Uh-huh.
How you doing, buddy? How old is Simba?
10 weeks. Say hello.
Wow.
Hello.
Oh, you're getting little Simba kisses? Very nice. Anybody else with dogs, cats? Anybody you want to, or a joke? It's Fun Friday, so we always like to start. Somebody's got to tell a joke. Somebody. Hey, Carlene, good to see you here. We got a few new members here as well. Manny, good to see you. Manny and Mandy are here. Anybody with a joke today? And okay, as you're gathering your jokes, I'm just going to go ahead with housekeeping. We do have a full calendar. We have our hospitality suite, which is always open right after we're done here. And then we do have integrative health today at 3 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. Yes, the triumphant return of Therese Macelis, who is actually on with us right now. Therese, what are we going to be talking about? What are you going to be talking about today?
Hi, nice to see you. Nice to be back. Today I'm talking about 3 wonderful products that you should always have in your refrigerator and their benefits. Apple cider vinegar, fresh lemons, and chlorophyll. So I hope you'll join me.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, very good. We will get together at 3 p.m. for that. And then, of course, we wrap up our week as we do each week at 6 p.m. Eastern with Be Heard. Especially great for our new members. You got some ideas, questions, you want to just talk, smaller group, no recordings, say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want on here on the bigger group too. So in fact, if you're seeing this on the interwebs, right, if you are not yet a member, you can go to jlsuccessmastermind.com and you can not only listen to us, but you can actually talk. And we meet on average 3 times a day. So there's a really active group, which has become like family. Yes, I would say this is the family at this point. So you guys are awesome. Glad you're here. And again, welcome to our newest members who just recently got started. Mark, you've got your hand up. You got a joke or something for us?
Yeah, I got a joke.
Right.
So since I'm wearing my my poker tie here, I say, what did the dealer say to the deck of cards?
I don't know. What did he say?
I can't deal with you anymore.
Ah, there you go. Rated G. Thank you, sir. Very good. Anybody else? Look good, Mark. I know last first Friday of the month, it's kind of a tradition that we actually, instead of dress down Friday, it's dress up Friday. So we put on ties and, evening gowns or whatever. And I don't have my evening gown with me. So, and last time I forgot. So forgive me, you guys. Forgive me for just wearing my typical black polo shirt. There's a reason for the black polo shirt, by the way. For those who don't know, it's called decision fatigue. I don't have to think about what to wear anymore. I could be wearing anything down below or nothing. So you could just wonder what I'm wearing down below right now, if I am, in fact, wearing anything. But all I need is this black polo shirt, $15 on Amazon. Bam, problem solved. All right. So anybody else before we come out here today? We're going to talk a bit about affirmations.
Yeah, John, I got to talk about this outrageous thing that happened to me. We just started traveling again, right? And so we went, hit the road and went to this small, lovely town up in the hill country of Texas. And it was really beautiful, bed and breakfast. It was fantastic. The only problem was they tried to charge us $10 extra a day for air conditioning. That just wasn't cool, man.
That wasn't cool. I got it. Very good. Thank you.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I see. That was great. That was great. Thank you, Glenn. All right. Anybody else? Moving on. Okay. So Ego says, yes, Bichon Maltese. So that's what that is, Ego, Bichon Maltese. Yep. Okay. Very good. So Edward, now you know about Dress Up Friday. Yeah, like when we lived in cubicles, some of us, still have, office jobs and whatever. There's such a thing as Dress Down Friday. And so we just decided, you know what, this Friday, let's do, Hawaiian shirts or something. Or this Friday, let's do Dress Up Friday. So that's like the first Friday of the month. And I forgot last month and I didn't pack a tie for the trip that I'm on right now. Anyway, we're going to have, opposite day. Thank you, Mark. Okay, so next month you wear the evening gown. Okay, Mark? Very good. So, so let's bring Nicola out here. Actually, before we do, let me offer you a preamble because I don't know where Nicola is going with this. This is on a whim, which is, we fly by the seat of our pants. It's whatever's working in our lives. That's what we talk about here in the mastermind group. Whatever is producing increase in our lives and in the lives of others. And I could tell you that what I suspect Nicola is going to talk about today is a way to approach auto-suggestion with less guesswork or with more order and more of a system. So I look at everything I've succeeded at in my life, and there's a few things, and it's always been because I've brought order into that situation. Think of your household. Okay, so there is the orderly condition of things, right? Like right now we're seeing Glenn, who was just on screen. He's by the way, Glenn, is that your new digs, or are you in a hotel, or like where are you?
Yeah, this is my pretty much empty office that we're about to move out of the house, and so almost all the furniture is gone.
Okay, got it. So that's a moving out condition. But the point is that I don't see clutter, I don't see disarray and random stuff. And so when I think about success as we experience it in various areas of life that we can see physically or not, I think about order. And I like to create in things that I can't necessarily see. I like to also create order in my mind and on my calendar, right? I've been doing some work with some of my clients on like time and activity management. Where does our time go? Do we know where our time goes? I know we got a lot of people involved here in the like the CEO Freedom Accelerator that Shannon and I are doing, helping people really leverage their time and create businesses and momentum and all that. And in fact, next week, I'm going to be doing an entire lesson on that, specifically that. kind of a deep dive, not kind of, very much a deep dive into how we get so much done in so much less time. But the point is that all success is based on orderly movement, orderly, not disorderly, and not being stopped. Okay. And I can tell you, when I've got order on my calendar, I get more done. Okay. When I've got order in my mind, I get more done. My stats go up, so to speak. Okay. When I'm sitting here wondering what to do or even what to think, well, there goes the time. And here does not go the production, right? So order. Now, thinking back to our study of Napoleon Hill and his classic Think and Grow Rich, what did he say was the keystone in the arch of the entire Think and Grow Rich philosophy? That all other principles are there to serve this one principle. This is the principle that everything else is based on. Autosuggestion. Wrote a whole chapter on it, short chapter, and it's one that he told us to read every day. Some of us may still be reading it every day. He's like, read it out loud, to do whatever you got to do every day until you've thoroughly convinced yourself of the efficacy of this teaching. Okay, so in other words, drill this into your brain. Autosuggestion. What is autosuggestion? We can use devices like affirmation, which is what Nicola is going to be talking with us about here, and reminders, dream boards, little goal card in your pocket or on your phone. I've got it right here. Okay, but here's my definition of autosuggestion. It's that which we tell ourselves about ourselves all day long, whether we know it or not. That's it. It's our innermost beliefs and expectations about ourselves. It's the internal dialogue which renders the external dialogue and the actions we choose to take or not take. It is actually what makes our choice. It is what we tell ourselves about ourselves all day long. Was it Marcus Aurelius who said, man is what he thinks about all day long? Which, and that's just one quote, there's many that point to the same secret, so to speak, which Earl Nightingale called the strangest secret, and that is we become what we think about. Now, you may hear that and you may say, well, I don't know if that holds water, right? I think about this certain, car all day. Am I going to become the car? No. Will you become the person who experiences that car? Yeah. Right. So you don't become the car. So don't get stuck too much on the semantics of it. Okay. I heard somebody joke once and say, oh, you know what? I heard that I saw this movie called The Secret. You guys remember that? The Secret, right? Oh, there's a secret and it's been suppressed and hidden and it's all BS, of course, because it's not a secret, right? It's been thousands of years. There's no new truth. In case you're looking for a new truth, there is none. There's the truth, and that's it. And this guy said, no, the secret that we become what we think about, that can't be real, because if that was real, I'd be Halle Berry right now. Okay. So what are we telling ourselves about ourselves all day long? Great question. To help us with that, Nicola Black, who also runs our group meditation on Tuesdays. Nicola, good to see you, as always. What do you got for us today on this?
Right. I'm not sure if this classifies as Fun Friday, but we'll give it a go anyway.
I'm having fun. Yeah.
So can I share my screen? I've prepared a few slides for us. So let me share.
We got slides and everything.
Oh, yeah. All professional.
Goodness.
Let's see if I can. Right. Can everyone see that?
There it is.
All right. Good stuff. So
looks good, by the way. Nice branding.
Affirmations then. So I started working with affirmations about 10 years ago. Just stumbled upon them. I think I've mentioned many times it was probably a low point in my life. Just got divorced, health problems, all the rest of it. And this is one of affirmations and meditation, I think, are probably the two things that made the biggest impact to me 10 years ago and continue to do so. So these are the two absolute must-dos as far as I'm concerned. So I thought I'd share a little bit. I mean, you've summed that up really well, John, but it just goes into a little bit more detail about what they are and why they're so effective, and how, like you say, you can put a bit of structure behind them so you can create something that has more chance of success. So I'll run us through those. But I guess just before we start, either show of hands or in the comments, how many people work with affirmations already? Yeah, okay.
I certainly do. And we got a bunch of, people are commenting here. Yeah, me.
I can't see the comments. I've lost them, but
and you know what, Nicola, you say this has been, this had a big impact for you. So we're all very interested to hear like any nuanced approach you've taken to it, or, what actually has, bears fruit in your life. I can tell you for me, it's got to be consistent reminders, right? By whatever device I use, right? Here's the images, the dream board, the goal card, right? But yeah.
Hold your thought. That's the last slide. 5 tips for success, but that's exactly, I've got that one, consistency and repetition, definitely. So this is probably, it sounds like a lot of people already work with them, so this might just be a nice reminder. But if you're new to it, this will give you a little bit of insight into. So as John said, and I think there's lots of different ways you can kind of frame this, but here's another quote, one I really like. So whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And really what that emphasizes, whatever we tell ourselves over and over again for God knows how many years, is what we become to believe. And what we believe then creates our reality. So if we happen to have told ourselves something negative 10 or 20 years ago, and we've continued to tell ourselves that for 20 years, and of course, that's what we believe. But it was only a story that we told ourselves 20 years ago. It wasn't necessarily true. It was just a thought. So we have the power to change those thoughts once we become aware of them. And for me, I think that's the biggest point, is awareness. So unless you know what's going on in your subconscious mind and all those limiting beliefs that you're playing to yourself automatically, then how can you choose to do anything about it? So I think the biggest step is becoming aware of what we're telling ourselves. And I think we all are very aware in this group, because we come and we talk about this kind of stuff most days. But I'd be very surprised if we haven't all still got some little subconscious belief that we're not yet aware of, or we're not aware of how powerful it is on our actions day to day. So there'll be a little exercise in a minute. If you have got a pen and paper, if we get time, we might want to try and give it a go. If not, I can send these slides around afterwards. So to me, affirmations are, an affirmation is basically, I think you said it, John, to me, an affirmation is our self-talk, because it's something that we tell ourselves over and over again. It can either be negative self-talk, or it can be positive, uplifting, empowering self-talk. So once we become aware of what that negative thought is, we can start to use empowering affirmations to change those deep-rooted beliefs. And I'll just got a little quick exercise in the bottom here, because I'm very into energy and vibration, and I think affirmations are a really good example of how it can affect your energy. So if everyone recites the affirmation on the bottom left 3 times in your mind, I'm not good enough, and just start to believe it for a second, and then just pause, and how do you feel? I would imagine your energy's just dropped. You maybe start to feel small and want to go inside. And now repeat the one on the right, which is, I am sharing my unique gifts with the world. I am enough. And just start to really feel it. And now, how do you feel? I would hope you feel lighter, a bit more energized. You've probably got visions and thoughts and feelings coming to your mind, and you feel, you maybe even got a smile on your face. You feel empowered. And that is just one really simple example of how your thoughts can affect how you feel inside. And it just, to me, like, it really only scratches the surface of how powerful our thoughts are. So just to emphasize that, that kind of whole earlier point is, I'm sure we're probably all aware now of our conscious mind and our subconscious mind, and that graphic there just gives you an idea of what our conscious mind is responsible for, which is all of your conscious, critical, logical thinking. But what your subconscious mind is responsible for is everything else. It's all of your beliefs, all of your automatic programming, all of your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. It's got everything you've ever learned over the course of your life, all deep down in your subconscious mind. And that's the stuff that is on automatic. That's the stuff that we aren't aware that is happening beneath the surface. And it actually, it's believed that it makes up about 70% of our brains. 90%. So it's huge. It's like a massive kind of computer we've got there, which is storing all that stuff. So we've got to become really good at retraining our subconscious mind, because it is so powerful and it holds all of those beliefs. And that's why I'm so passionate about finding ways, and it's different for everyone else, everyone's got different things in their toolkit, but finding ways to work with your subconscious mind so that it works for you, not against you. And I think you mentioned some of these earlier, John, but there's some examples there of ways that we can work with our subconscious mind. So affirmations is one, visualization and vision boards. So we're creating images in our minds of how we want to look, act, feel, behave, what we want to have. Meditation, hypnosis is another tool, and journaling is another one I find quite powerful, because journaling brings to the surface through writing what is held in your subconscious mind. So it's just another way of bringing that stuff up to the surface so you're more aware of it. So that's a little bit about what's happening up in our minds. And some of the benefits, I mean, it's probably quite obvious, so I'll not spend too long on that, but we bring more awareness to our thoughts through affirmations. We can use them to overcome negative beliefs. And as you probably just experienced really briefly, it can empower you. It can raise your energy. Basically, what you're doing is improving your self-talk, which I think we can't underestimate how powerful that is. And we can achieve our goals faster if we do this in the right way, in a structured way. So I'll probably pause there for a second, because we're ready to go into a little exercise for creating our own affirmations. So I don't know if anyone's got any questions or thoughts.
Yeah, I have some ideas about that. So I've had varying experiences with different methods, and I think one of the things that may be coming up for people right now, because we're right now in our book study group, we're reading T. Harv Eker's Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and he poo-poos a little bit the idea of affirmations, and he prefers declarations, because a lot of times people are consciously thinking, well, I'm lying to myself. Right. So if my chronic thought was, I'm not good enough. Okay. Well, what would be the opposite of that? And we can get clarity through contrast. Right. So I'm awesome. Right. I'm more than enough. Right. I have unique gifts that I offer the world. And however you'd like to write that. But then they start to, say, well, I'm kind of full of it. Like, and then, no, that's a lie, right? So they wind up just inducing an additional sort of a cognitive dissonance, like an internal conflict over that. Like, I'm lying to myself. So if anyone's got that consideration about it, then understand, like on the last slide that Nicola was just showing, it said something about thoughts, right? So previous slide. Okay, it said, remember You went past it. Remember, thoughts aren't real. They're just thoughts. Okay. Well, but the thought precedes the deed, right? So it's real as, as you act on it and you persist with it. So what is the one thing that we have dominion over? And that is our thoughts. And we can use the mental faculty of will. We're talking about conscious thought now. We're not talking about some wacky woo-woo, I'm in a hypnotic state or anything like that. We're actually talking about confronting our own thoughts and becoming conscious of our own consciousness. And we can, like you mentioned, journaling, right? We can take inventory on that just to be aware of what am I thinking? Because I haven't been aware of it in many cases, right? So just the consideration about your own considerations is a huge advancement. Like the idea that, I don't really believe that. I mean, I'm saying that affirmation to myself, but I don't really believe it. Great, right there. That's your innermost belief in this present time about that affirmation. Is that always the case? So I guess what I would say to this is the thoughts are transient and we make them real through persistence, right? But who's thinking the thoughts? Whose mind is it that you're using? I mean, we can get pretty, far out with this stuff, but I think just becoming conscious of our own considerations about our own considerations is huge. And I think, journaling and meditation in whatever form, again, don't get stuck on the labels, I think is enormous. So those are there's my feedback so far. Nicola, thank you.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, John. And journaling for me was an eye-opener because I like to think I'm quite self-aware, and I thought I knew what was going through my mind. But actually, when you ask yourself a question, so I'll ask myself a question most mornings is simply, how do I feel? But I'll write the answer. And what comes out when I actually pick up a pen and write the answer is very different to the conscious stuff that was going through my mind. It gets a lot deeper. And sometimes I find that I'm not in as good as a place I thought I was, or sometimes I find I'm actually better in a place, or sometimes I find there's something completely different comes out that I wasn't even aware of was there. So journaling for me is a massive one. It just really does bring awareness to those deep inner thoughts.
I see Linda's hand is up. Hey, Linda. Linda.
I'm here. So I don't really do the affirmations, but I've been doing, and I'm new to this, so been doing gratitude. But in my gratitude, I'm happy and grateful for things that I don't actually have yet. So is that kind of the same as an affirmation, or is that completely different?
I would class that as visualization.
Okay.
You're almost to be thankful for something in the future. You've visualized it and you believe it, you're feeling it, and therefore you're grateful that you already have it. So you're kind of doing a bit of future visualization is how I would see that.
Okay.
Right. Well, if you want, I can carry on and we'll go to, these are 7 steps I've come up with for creating your own affirmations that kind of summarize what to bear in mind. And I don't think there's any hard and fast rule, but I'm probably similar to you, John. I do like a bit of structure when I'm doing this, so a bit of guidance. So for me, what I found that works well is to focus on one area of your life at a time. So it could be to do with business, could be to do with health, relationships. You can use affirmations for any area of your life, really, but just pick one and then really kind of hone in on that and hyper focus on that. So it helps to bring attention to it in your mind as well. The next one. So it's a little exercise. You might want to do it now, or I'll send the slides around. You can do it after. So if you've got your sheet of paper, the area of your life you want to improve, just for a few seconds, without any real, don't put any thought into it, just write down all of the negative thoughts or feelings associated with that particular area of your life. So if it was to do with health, for example, or I think the next example, to do with confidence in your own voice. So what comes to mind when you say that thought to yourself? What are the first initial feelings and thoughts? So just kind of scribble those down. We can do a little bit of inner work here. Kind of a bit of journaling as well at the same time. So as you're in your mind, either write them down or just kind of think of them in your mind. And that's really just starting to become consciously aware of how it's making you feel when you're affirming that, whatever that belief is, to yourself. So that is all of the thoughts you don't want, all of the feelings you don't want. So the next step alongside that is just for a second, allow yourself to dream a bit and write down how you want to feel. So affirm the positive feelings that you want. And you might want to put down there a few examples of where you believe you do already have that in your life as well. So it's a bit of kind of reflecting back and looking forward to the future. So anything to do with that area of your life, how you want to feel. And once you've got that, you can then start working on the affirmation statement that you're going to use to create more of that positive stuff in your life. And the two really powerful words when it comes to affirmations, and one which our subconscious mind really kind of takes on board, is to start the statement with I am. It's really powerful. And again, it doesn't have to be, but that is the recommended way to start it, with I am. When you're creating your statement, just look at the words that you've used on the positive side of the page. Just start seeing if you can maybe pull them into a single statement. But as you're doing that, try and include a feeling word, because that invokes an emotion inside. So a feeling word, like you might be in love with life. It might be something to do with being kind and grateful, appreciative, uplifted. So anything which invokes a kind of feeling inside. Right, now this is important. So make it present tense. If you set it that it's something that you're going to achieve in the future, there's probably two reasons why. The way the subconscious mind works, it doesn't distinguish, it doesn't know, it doesn't have a perception of time. So it doesn't distinguish between now, future, past, present. You're telling it, and it needs to just accept it as is. But also, if you set something that is in the future rather than the here and now, it will always seem like it's out of reach. So create the statement as if it has already occurred. It's happening now. You're living it now. And the next point, it's still on the same one, I think was probably the point you were mentioning, John, is make it realistic. So you have to believe it. So it has to stretch you, but you are also not to, I mean, I'm not going to sit here today and say, I am a millionaire, because I'm not going to believe that for a second. So my mind will just push it out. So create something that really you believe is achievable. I would say in the short to medium term. So in the next 30 to 60 or even 90 days, because you can always, once you believe you've achieved your affirmation, you can work on another area of your life. You can create new ones. But for now, create something that you believe you can attain. And keep it quite short. So the shorter, the better, because you've got to remember this and you've got to recite this. You don't want the whole kind of war and peace statement. If you've followed and you've got that, and don't worry if it's not perfect, you can refine these later. But if you've got something, the final, and for me, the most important step is to test it. because it has to work for you. There's hundreds and thousands of affirmations out there, and you'll see them in all sorts of quotes, but it really has to resonate with you, and it's got to mean something to you. So take your affirmation and recite it to yourself 3 times. So, do you feel uplifted? Has it just energized you? Has it put a smile on your face? Do you feel empowered? If the answer is yes to those, then that ticks the box, and that affirmation is going to work for you. If it's not, and it hasn't achieved any of those things, then go back and start again and just do the exercise again. Because it has to, I mean, that's what we're doing in all of this, is you're raising your energy vibration inside of you, taking you out of the lower vibration states. So if that affirmation doesn't do it for you, it's not going to work. It's not going to achieve what you need it to. So that's the most important one for me, is to test it. Right. So actually, just a very quick example. I mean, you've probably done your own there, but this was mine. And this is still, it's kind of relevant for me right now. And it is, I am about to put myself out there in, after the end of this month, I'll be a qualified hypnotherapist and coach. And it's the first time, whilst I've spoke a lot in my previous role, it was a very different role. It was an analytical role. So to me, the idea of putting myself out there as a completely different person, if you like, is really daunting. And I became very conscious of the thoughts I was having, and I was talking myself out of it. So this is the example of the exercise. So the types of thoughts I was having is, I'm not experienced enough. I'm not qualified enough. What if I say the wrong thing? There's already thousands of people across the globe doing this and sharing their message, and probably doing it better than I can. Where would I even start? So I was getting completely overwhelmed by seeing what the competition were doing, completely disjointed and just stuck. So I done the exercise just this morning, actually, over with my journal and a cup of tea. And what I've got now on the positive side is actually, I'm already doing it. So there's some things, if we look back over, we can help just kind of give ourselves a boost by seeing where we're already doing it in some cases. So things like, I'm doing the meditation sessions with this group. I've got some one-to-one sessions with just some friends. And actually, I've been doing coaching for 10 years, just in a different type of environment. So that you can kind of look back, but then you can also look forward. So how do I want to feel? I want clarity in my message. I want to feel confident and in control. And I want to feel calm when I'm going into this space. So I've done the side-by-side exercise, and the affirmation I've created is, I am using my voice to make a positive and meaningful difference to the world. And that just gives me a completely different feeling inside to all of the messages I was playing. So I've now got my affirmation, and I think the final step is making sure we use this in the right way, because it's still just having the affirmation as one thing. Great, we've become aware of our thoughts, we've done the exercise, we have the affirmation, but unless we practice it in the right way, it's going to achieve zero. So these are just my kind of top tips. I'm sure there's a lot more out there. So as I mentioned earlier, choose one area to really hyper focus on for the next 30 days, because that will just help. Well, I'm sure we probably all understand the importance of that. So, but it just helps our brain start to filter out all of the other stuff. And it's quite surprising how much of a effective job our brain will do at attracting more of the things that we're asking for. So call it law of attraction, call it the reticular activating system in the brain. But if we focus our attention in one area, the brain will go looking for more examples of where we're doing that well, and it will bring more to us. So that to me is really important. To continue to visualize and feel the outcome that we want. So visualization is really, really important. So it doesn't matter how you do that, through meditation or just spend a few seconds on a morning visualizing how you want to feel. This one's really important. So when we choose to recite the affirmation, so the best time to do it, where your subconscious mind is most open and susceptible to taking on this change, is as soon as you wake up on a morning, before it's gone into its more active brainwave state. It's still in an alpha state, which is kind of just one before sleep. So it's much more susceptible to change. So literally before I get out of bed, I'll recite that affirmation. And then exactly the same at the end of the day, just before you're falling asleep. Those are the most two effective times to get straight to your subconscious mind. But then again, throughout the day, if you're about to start something where you know these negative thoughts are likely to surface, then use it just before then. So if you're going to do a particular exercise or task and you know where your thoughts are likely to drift to, repeat it then, get into the right frame of mind and use it throughout the day as well. And then John, you mentioned earlier, make a real commitment to yourself. You're changing habits here and they don't change overnight. So repetition is key. And that's why we need to practice this stuff every day. It's the same as any new habit you're trying to create. You know, you would take yourself to the gym every day. If it was a fitness goal, this is a mental goal. We should still be taking ourselves off to the kind of mind gym every day. And then the last one is we could get too hung up on this and we could get quite logical and structured, and I think we've got to make it fun. We have to enjoy this process as well, and it shouldn't become a stressful to-do activity on our list. So we have to enjoy it, and we have to remember to reflect and celebrate any wins and success, because that works well for the mind. Just small wins at the end of each day or week or month to tell ourselves we're moving in the right direction. And good luck. Hey, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Nicola. You know, let me say this, Nicola, you are so relaxing to listen to. I once made a comment to Nicola that I'm glad I'm not doing the group meditation session, because I'd be like, all right, guys, everybody sit there. Let's get quiet. Start. That's it. And a half hour later, I'd be like, all right, stop. Back to work. So, Nicola, you have such a soothing presence. Thank you for this. And I think what you just showed us here is a way that we can not overwhelm ourselves with something that, look, bottom line is we're going to be experiencing autosuggestion all day, every day, whether we know it or not, right? So why don't we just do something deliberate with it? And is it going to be perfect? I don't know. You could change your affirmations every day. You could do whatever you want. When you got a more pleasing combination of words or pleasing vision comes to mind, write that down. That's how I've come up with affirmations, right? I sit there, I'm thinking about where I'm going in life, and like something just pops into my mind. Like, oh, write that down. There it is. So I think the real barometer for this, as Nicola said, is how does it make you feel? This isn't a forced thing. It's not like, oh, now I need to do my friggin' affirmations. Oh my goodness. No, it's like pleasing thoughts. That here's the barometer for me. Am I hesitating or am I moving? In other words, do I feel empowered or restricted? Do I feel like I'm in the flow, or do I feel like I'm forcing my way through life? Right. And so I can ask the same questions about, any of this autosuggestion, any of these affirmations or visualizations or concepts or ideas that I've decided deliberately to start focusing on throughout my day. Right in the beginning, like Nicola said, right at the end, and then all the time throughout the day, and not just when I so-called need it, right? But it's the same guy that's showing up in all these different activities. Well, let me just remember who that guy is here real quick. Oh, that's right. That's who I am. Okay, now let's go and let's execute. Let's do whatever the job is. So what do you guys think of this? First of all, thank you, Nicola. Thank you again. This was awesome. Yeah. Good stuff. Who's got some thoughts about this? We've got a bunch of people on here. And you don't have to share your affirmations if that's a personal thing for you. I've shared a few. And you can rip this stuff off. You can do whatever you want. Nicola, you just shared one with us, so thank you. This is personal to you, and they come in lots of different forms. Let's start with Ego. Ego knows some stuff about this. Hey, Ego.
Thanks, Nicola. That was amazing. I for a very long time, I've actually used affirmations, and a lot of the advice you gave was really spot on, because that's actually what I do. Particularly, I like the idea. So, I mean, I go through the savers anyway in the mornings, and I love to journal. And that's how I managed to kind of finish my book in the time that I wanted to finish, because I've been journaling for years. So coming back to the first point, where you said, focus, right? So for me, I've kind of realized that there's only so much you can get done. If you focus and just hone down, you can get stuff done. So as I plan for, I start with my quarterly planning and then monthly planning. And then for the week, as I break it down and I have my focus, I then go through the exercise of thinking about, where the areas I feel I will be challenged. And out of those come my affirmations. So I write down my affirmations. I have a whiteboard in the kitchen, and I have to go past this wall every time. So I have it I have my affirmations for the month, because I planned my focus anyway. And then I just kind of, as I walk past every day, several times a day, I just look, you can't miss it. And I just kind of read through my affirmations to a point where, as I walk past, I actually don't have to look. I think I have about 10 on there. I just as I walk past, I just recite them. And it's a part of me. So when I go to bed, I just recite them. When I wake up in the morning, every time I walk past that wall. And then they're different. In some cases, I repeat them, from month to month, not all of them, but it depends on the focus. And it actually works wonders. Really, it does. And, when you said, think of a negative belief, or, the first exercise, I actually struggled with that, where you said, just kind of say to yourself 3 times, I'm not good enough. I struggled with that because, I couldn't take my place. I couldn't take myself to that place, because one of my affirmations is I am enough. I'm better than enough, right? So it was hard for me to take myself there, because it's something I've been reciting for a long time. I've been affirming for a long time. So thanks for that. That was really helpful.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And that just shows that where your belief now is. I would imagine when you created that, you created it for a reason, because your belief probably wasn't there. But the fact that your energy just will not even go there now shows you how far. Yeah, that's how powerful. And I know I love that, because I don't have the big whiteboard, but I do have I have about 10 as well. So I have a little printout which gets stuck on my fridge. And it was a nice exercise to do. It was about a year ago. I stuck with pretty much the same 10 all year. And at the end of the year, I reviewed those 10, and I could quite confidently tick 8 off the list, which they were part of my beliefs at that point. So it just really does show how powerful it is.
It is. Yeah. Thank you.
Nice. Who is next? Come on down. Who's got some thoughts about affirmations or what you affirm to yourself? I don't see any other hands up right now, so I'll give you one. Here comes Ingrid. Stop everything, everyone. My favorite violinist from Canada, Ingrid Matheson. How are you, my friend?
Hey there. Just quick. So it's interesting. I really have enjoyed this, and I feel as Ego did, interestingly, when you wanted us to say the I'm not enough one, I literally got totally pissed off and I just wouldn't do it. which is, I really couldn't even imagine saying that. It just, so that's super interesting how words can really influence and affect you. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I'm not very organized, what a surprise, about doing daily affirmations, and I always think I should be, and I like the idea, and maybe I'm going to get better at it now. But yeah, thank you.
You know, Ingrid, let me comment on that, because I've gotten to know you a bit more over the last month or so, and you're a powerful being, right? So to confront the suggestion that you could go ahead and affirm that you're not powerful, that you're not enough, and to reject that thought, that means that you definitely have some traction with what I would call just, right thinking. I liken this to, it was a great exercise, Nicola, nonetheless, right? It was something that, where you even said, now we're kind of, did you say looking in? I call that introverting, right? So if I'm saying I'm not good enough, right? What am I doing? I'm introverting, right? Whereas once you corrected us, right, and you said, all right, now let's look at the opposite of that. Here's an example. You feel lighter. In fact, that's exactly what you said. You feel lighter. And sure enough, I felt lighter. But look at it like this. A lot of people know I've done a lot with firearms training, right? So once you know, like Ingrid, you've got practice with deliberately going in the direction you want to go and becoming successful in life. And you are, right? So now that you know that, you're not going to turn back and do something, counterproductive. So if I know, let's say, proper handling of a weapon, right? And then like the instructor told me, all right, now go ahead and look down the barrel of that gun. There's no way I'm going to do it. Thanks for the suggestion and for the contrast, but I'm not looking down the barrel of that gun. Never, 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 never. Right. So what's that? That's training. That's training. So think about that, everyone. What was your experience with that? And look, we could take little words out of all this, and we may or may not even recognize this stuff. Okay. But like Nicola, on your last slide, what were the last two words? Does anybody know what were the last two words on that last slide that she showed? Does anybody know what they were? Good luck. Good luck. Okay. So what do those words mean to you? I'll tell you what they mean to me. They mean F you. Go screw yourself. Luck? Really? Really? You're telling me good luck? Don't tell me good luck. Now, that's not what Nicola meant in that slide.
You know what? I put them on there. And I generally don't use them, but I couldn't think of anything else to put instead. And I thought, nobody will notice, have you? And you picked up on it.
Right. So I'm taking it up now because of the meaning that we can add. Right. What we're talking about is words that mean something to us, right? Affirmation, auto-suggestion, all this stuff. These are words that have meaning to us, right? I know if somebody tells me good luck, it's basically go screw yourself, right? That's what that typically, that's not what Nicola meant, okay? But I've done enough training in that area to have disabused myself of any false concept that like I need to get lucky or something. I'll tell you one thing I haven't been is lucky. I've been very successful, but not lucky. What's the old saying? Successful people are lucky. Just ask any failure, right? So just look at the words that we use and what they mean to you. I'm sorry, Ego, I think I stepped on you, and then Glenn's going to come out. Come on out here, Ego.
No, just quickly. I was just going to say, when we were talking about good luck, just say take action. Or get going. Take action and get going.
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
That's great. Nicola, you're okay with my very blunt and direct.
Oh yeah. Do you know what? I agree with you. I do. It was the last minute, and I thought I'm just going to stick with it. Take action.
Yeah. Beautiful. So we also have, in our interaction with other people, right? We also have to seek to understand, right? Glenn, come on out here, brother. So we're seeking to understand what other people mean with the words they use.
Thank you, John. This was great stuff, Nicola. And I've said this to you before. I feel, if I were to take none of your advice, I feel more relaxed just listening to you. Holy moly. Wonderful stuff. And I will take some of your advice. I've always thought that I had an issue with affirmations. Does that make sense? I've always thought that I've always had problems with affirmations. Until I realized that in some of the toughest, most challenging, most difficult times of my life, what got me through and what has kept me going were affirmations. I just didn't know they were called affirmations. Some of us know the story, a bit of the story about my experience living in the Middle East and running into some very, very tough times there. And other situations and places that I've been in, phases, crossroads in my life and so forth. Looking back on them and remembering what caused it, what caused the tough times, which was almost always this guy, and what got me through and out of those situations into more success and better stats and a brighter future. There have been two affirmations that have stuck with me all of my life, things that have been just ringing in my ears and ringing in my head for I don't even know how many years now. And I'm happy to share them if it benefits, if it's of some value to someone. One of the affirmations that I've always walked around with, and sometime have actually stated, is I am protected. That is, whatever happens to me, whatever I'm going through, particularly in the difficult times, I am protected by a higher power, by God, by the universe, who always acts and moves situations and people and events for my benefit. Always, even if it doesn't appear so to me. So I am protected, which has always given me confidence to keep on going, to keep on moving, to try new things. And the other one, and boy, this one, I can tell you, at least 40 years, I've been saying this to myself every day. My success is inevitable. My success is inevitable. There is no plan B. There is no what if I fail. Screw that. Failure doesn't exist in my mind as a life. Now, events, you make a call, you give a presentation, and you fail in that moment to get the result that you desire. Not what I'm talking about. You understand. I'm talking about failure as a person, failure as a life, failure as an entrepreneur. My success is inevitable. And so that has given me confidence to know and to carry with me that sooner or later, I find the success that I seek. I find the results. I create the results that I desire. So if that is, if that is of some value to someone, it's been enormously valuable, priceless, in fact, to me in my life. Number one, I am protected. And two, my success is inevitable. So there you are. Back to you, John.
Wow. Glenn, two powerful statements right there. So that's an acknowledgement of higher intelligence, that you don't have to know everything. That's great because there is power that is omniscient, and then my success is inevitable. That is a present tense statement of havingness, right? So my success, that's something you have, is present tense, inevitable, unstoppable, so to speak, imminent. Right. So that doesn't mean that here's the $1 million in my hand right now. So no argument there. OK, but it's inevitable because right now it's inevitable. That is really good. Here's one that kind of goes along the lines with those. I got this from Joe Murphy, Power of Your Subconscious Mind, classic book. By day and by night, I am being prospered in all of my interests. OK, so what does that mean? Well, let's look at, interpret the words how you like. But being prospered, right, also suggests that it's not that you're not the doer per se. Again, I don't have to have all the answers in the entire plan, but I'm being prospered in all of my interests. Well, what are my interests, right? So now I'm thinking about my interests, and by day and by night, meaning whether I'm working or sleeping or whatever, as Glenn just said, these currents are moving in my favor. Which now, yes, we could call that luck. Okay, great. Right. So again, it's about the meaning of words and use the words that you like. So I will tell you that I am so happy, grateful, and confident now that I consistently reach every goal I set. There's an affirmation right there. Present tense, emotive, right? These are words that are powerful for me. Pick your own words, whatever. Now that I consistently earn X amount of dollars, I'm so grateful that my body metabolizes everything I feed it. I feel great knowing that my old programming falls away from my personality easily and effortlessly. I'm just throwing out some words here, guys. Take what you like. I did not originate these words. The dictionary existed before I did. Okay, go ahead. Thank you. All right. Hey, we're at the top of the hour. How did that happen? Nicola, thank you, my friend. Any other commentary, questions, anything else before we wrap up here?
My pleasure.
Nicola, your role.
No, thank you for a chance to bring it to you all. It's something I'm passionate about and hopefully something I can continue to do more with.
Mm-hmm. Well, great. Well,
yeah, if anyone, I'm more than happy to offer support as well. If anyone just wants to delve a bit further into it, then get in touch, give me a shout.
Fantastic. And you can find Nicola in our members site. She has her contact information in there. And of course, we will get together again here for Integrative Health in just a couple hours. And then, of course, I'll see everyone at 6 o'clock Eastern, which I am actually in Eastern time right now. So I will see you at 6 o'clock. And in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your day. You guys so deserve it. It's so good to see you all here.
Live long and prosper, John.
That's right.